Okay, today we're doing 8b.4 and we're talking about solving logarithmic equations. Hopefully these will not be super difficult for you. In order to solve log equations, most of the time you're going to end up changing them into exponential form. So on number 1, how would you change that into exponent form? Good. 3 to the 4th equals x. X is already by itself. All you're going to do is simplify. What is 3 to the 4th power?
81.
Good. So that means that x equals 81, and you are done. Okay, example 2. I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to try example 2 on your own. And I think I'm going to pull some popsicle sticks today. Okay, so I'd like to know how to set up my equation. Andrew. So we need to change it to exponent form. Do you remember how to change it to exponent form? So we take our base, which is 2, and we raise it to that power. So it's going to be 2 to the 5th power equals, and this is my answer, x. And then we can simplify. 2 to the 5th power, anybody, is?
32.
Good. So x equals 32. All right, example 3. I'm going to pull a popsicle stick, and I want this person to tell me how to change this into exponential form. Okay, Karina. So just change it to the correct form. Don't worry about that now. So we're going to write this as 3 to the x power equals negative 3. Good. Okay. Now think about this. This number right here is negative. Is there any value that I can put in for x that will end up giving me a negative answer?
So it's no solution.
So it's no solution. Because if I put a negative value up here, it ends up turning into a fraction, right? And a fraction's not a negative number. Okay, again, example 4, I'm going to call on someone, and I just want them to tell me how to write this in exponential form. So again, my question will be, how do I change this into exponential form? Alexis. Perfect. 2 to the x power equals 2. If this does not have an exponent, this 2, what exponent is there?
1.
A 1. Then we cancel out our bases, and my answer is what? 1. Okay, again, example 4. I'm going to pull a popsicle stick. I want you to tell me how this changes to exponential form. Austin Warren.
X equals x to the second power.
Good.
Equals 64.
Perfect. X to the second power equals 64. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but our x's seem to be in a whole bunch of different places, right? Okay. Here, my x is in my base. Okay? Exactly. So all we're going to do, and Sarah said exactly correct, we're just going to take the square root. And what is the square root of 64? 8. So x equals 8. Questions? Okay, again, example 5. Now this one looks a little weird, but again, when I call on you, the only thing I want you to be able to do is to tell me how to write this in exponential form. Okay? Kylie. Perfect. Okay. So we change that to exponential form. Now my next question is, how do I get rid of this negative exponent? So again, I'm going to pull a popsicle stick. How do I get rid of that negative exponent? What will I do? She's not here. Yelzar. Perfect. So this negative, that means this 1 over 25, we'd end up flipping it. Okay? So it's going to end up becoming 25 to the 1/2 equals x. So anytime you have a negative exponent, it changes sides, but if you have a fraction, you can just flip the fraction, right? Because we'd end up moving the 1 here, the 25 up, and 25 over 1 is just 25. Okay, what does 25 to the 1/2 power mean? Very good. It means the square root of 25. And what is the square root of 25? 5. So x equals 5. Do we have questions on that?
So, the power is negative, like that, just flip.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So basically, anytime you have a negative exponent, you're changing the side of the number. So this number happened to be on the bottom, so that means we bring it to the top. Okay? All right, example 6. Again, I'm pulling a popsicle stick, and I want you to tell me how to change this to exponential form. Giovanni. Perfect. 3 to the x power equals 0. Is there any value that I can put in for x that would end up giving me 0 as an answer? If I plugged in 1 here, 3 to the 1 equals 3, not 0. If I plugged in 0, 3 to the 0 equals 1, not 0.
No solution.
So it's no solution. Okay. Again, example 7, I'm going to pull a popsicle stick. I want you to tell me how to change that to exponential form. Lindsay. X to the negative 1 equals 4. Who thinks they know how to get rid of this negative 1 exponent? No? Chris.
You put a thing over the 1 over the x and
We could do that, but then we're going to have x in the denominator, and I really don't want x in the denominator. You have the right answer. How do you get it? Okay, you could do it that way. Anybody else have any other ideas? I can raise this to the negative 1 power. What is negative 1 times negative 1? Positive 1. And whatever I do to one side, I end up doing to the other side. So I end up getting x equals, but I don't want 4 to the negative 1, so what would I do?
1 over 4.
It ends up being 1 over 4. Exactly. Now, we could have solved that differently. Do you guys want to see if we'd end up making this 1 over x, and then what we would do? No? Okay. All right, example 8. Okay, so I'm going to pull a popsicle stick. I want you to tell me how to change this to exponential form. Sarah.
5 to the x power equals 25 root 5.
Good. 5 to the x equals 25 root 5. Okay, we learned there's a couple ways of solving these. I think that you guys did better when we made these all base 5. Okay? So 25 is going to end up being what? Good. 5 squared. And then the square root of 5 is actually what? 5 to the 1/2. And since I have these two bases that are the same and they're multiplying, we add the exponents. So what is 2 plus a half? 2.5. So I end up with 5 to the x equals 5 to the 2.5. Or if you had that as 5 over 2, that's also okay. We drop our bases. Exactly. And x equals 2.5. Exactly. So, or this answer could have been 5 over 2. That is also a good answer. Okay, again, example 9. I would like you to help me change this into exponential form. Marissa. Is Marissa sleeping? Okay. How do I change that to exponential form?
That's right. How do you change number 10 to x?
You are my popsicle stick. How do I change this to exponential form? Do you know?
Number 10.
Thanks to your friend next door. Okay, go ahead and help us out. 3 to the x equals. Perfect. Okay, so who can tell me now what I'm going to do to solve this problem?
Get a 27.
Good, we need to have like bases. So we're going to change 27 to base 3. 27 is 3 to what power?
3.
Very good, 3 to the third is correct. So I have, exactly. So I have 3 to the x equals 3 to the third, and you have to multiply that times 2 because the 2 is already there. So if you want to, you can drop your bases right now, and you get x equals 2 times 3, which means x equals 6. All right, example 10. Help me change this to exponential form. Nevada. Okay. You cannot have a negative base with a log. So the answer is no solution. We actually did not even have to change that to exponential form. If you ever see a negative for the base of your log, it is no solution. All right, and last one, example 11. Please help me change this into exponential form. Melanie. Okay, now I'm hoping you guys remember how to get rid of the 3/4. Very good. Times it to the reciprocal power, which should be 4/3. So that gets rid of my 3/4. And how would I rewrite 27 to the 4/3? Perfect. And what is the cubed root of 27? Very good. So that's 3. Perfect. It is 81. Any questions?